to statement 1, that is, an adverse supply shock reduces the marginal productivity of labor. And second is, output in the short run is a function of the equilibrium condition in labor market. So we can find the answer for it. That is option A. Both are correct. So a supply shock, when we look into that, it is a sudden increase in the price of raw materials or a natural disaster. It could be anything. That is a supply shock. That reduces the marginal productivity of labor. So it typically reduces the overall productivity, which also includes the marginal productivity of the labor, because workers have fewer or poorer quality inputs to work with. So that was first statement. And the second statement is, output in the short run is a function of the equilibrium condition in the labor market. So again, that is also correct, because the output is influenced by the equilibrium condition in the labor market, as the quantity of labor employed and the level of wages is directly affected in the production levels. A rise in the rate of inflation means that the percentage rise in average prices is higher than the previous one. Okay, and second statement is, the Phillips curve suggests that a fall in unemployment is likely to lead to lower rates of wage and price inflation. So by reading this itself, we can understand that statement 2 is definitely false. We'll read the statement 1 again. That is, a rise in the rate of inflation means a percentage rise in the average. Yeah, so we'll look into the answer first. That is option C, where 1 is correct and 2 is incorrect. So why is that so? We look into the explanation. First, I'll take the option. Earlier I forgot to. So here we have the correct answer is option C, that is statement 1 is correct and 2 is incorrect. So we look into the reason why is that so. Anyways, the first statement is correct, so I'll just read it out. That if the inflation rate was 2% last year and it rises to 3%, that means that the average prices of goods has increased compared to the last year. So that was statement 1. And when we move to the second statement, that was here, it was suggested that the Phillips curve is where the fall in unemployment and there is lower rates. That is exactly the opposite of the Phillips curve concept, because in Phillips curve, when the unemployment falls, the inflation tend to rise and vice versa. So that's why the second statement is wrong over here. We can move on to the next statement, that is first one, the number of exchange possibilities that exist in a money economy exceeds the number of barter economy. And second one, an increase in the length of time for which money is held will reduce the velocity at which the money circulates in the economy. So we'll look into the answer. Both are correct. Yeah. So first one, we can see that the money income, I'll just take the option first. So both the statements are correct in this question. So that is, the number of exchange possibility that exists in the money economy exceeds the number of barter economy. So that instead of barter, the presence of money as a medium has increased the number of possible exchanges compared to barter economy. And where in barter economy, the exchanges were limited by the double coincidence of wants. So then the second statement, again, even that is correct, that we can see the velocity of money refers to the rate at which the money changes hands in an economy. So if the money is held for a longer period of time, it circulates less frequently, thereby reducing the velocity. So the next question is, the number of exchange possibilities that exist in a money economy exceeds the number in a barter economy. So that is statement 1. Then we have statement 2, that is, an increase in the length of time for which money is held will reduce the velocity at which money circulates in the economy. So the first statement, we can see that the money economy it's showing that it exceeds the number of barter economy, which is true. So we'll just look into the answer first. So the answer is option A, that is both the statements are correct, wherein even in the second statement, we can see an increase in the length of time. So for which money is held will reduce the velocity. So what is velocity of money? That is the money being circulated in an economy, right? So the amount of time or the length of time a person keeps the money for himself will reduce the velocity of money. So both the statements are correct. So here we have option A as the correct answer, where both the statements A and statement 2 are correct. Then we have the next question, wherein statement 1 is the main features of the Industrial Policy 1991 includes abolition of industrial licensing, diminishing role of public sectors, and MRTP limit scraped conditions on the entry of foreign investment and technology liberalized and so on. So that is statement 1, that is regarding the main features of the industrial policy. And the statement 2, that is first industrial policy resolution was issued in 1951. So we'll look into the answer first. That is again option A, where we can see the main features of the industrial policy. All are being included in a first statement that states the abolition of the industrial licensing, diminishing role of the public sectors, MRTP limit scraped, and the conditions on entry of foreign investment and technology liberalized. So all these are included. And statement 2 is first industrial policy resolution issued in 1951, which is again the correct answer. So the right answer is option A. So next we have a match the following. So we have National Rural Employment Program, NREP, then Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, then we have Food for Work Program and Rural Landless Employment Guarantee Program. So according to that, the years are also given. We look into the answer. So the answer given base is option C, that is A2, P4, C1 and 3, D is 3. So A is 2. NREP is 1980, which is one of the oldest among the following. Then we have Sukanya Samriddhi, that is B, that is the newest we can find. Then we have C as 1. FWP was in 2001. And the last one, that is Rural Landless Employment Guarantee Program in 1983. So for this you have to remember the year as well as the name of the program and the objective of the programs as well. So first we have the National Rural Employment Program launched in 1980 to provide employment in the rural areas. Then Sukanya Samriddhi, that was launched in 2015 as part of Beti Bachao Beti Padhao campaign. Then we have the Food for Work program, which was launched in 2001 to eliminate the hunger and strengthen the rural infrastructure of India. And the last one was the RLEGP, which was launched in 1983 to generate gainful employment opportunities. So it's in the name itself, we can see the employment guarantee program. So that was employment opportunities to create productive assets in the rural areas. So we move on. Who propounded the jail cost of living method? So for determining the poverty line. So these are all the economists, or they gave few ideas for the poverty reduction or the poverty line. So among them, who propounded the jail cost of living? So it's Dadabhai Nauroji. We'll look into the answer. That is, in pre-independent India, Dadabhai Nauroji was the first to discuss the concept of poverty line. He used the menu for a prisoner and used appropriate prevailing prices to arrive at what may be called as the jail cost of living. So that was given by Dadabhai Nauroji. So the correct answer over here is B, that is Dadabhai Nauroji. Next we have consider the following statements regarding the arguments for free trade. So free trade leads to maximization of output, income, and employment. Free trade prevents monopoly. It protects the domestic industries, and it favors the monopoly. So we can see there are two opposite options given, like prevents monopoly or favors the monopoly. So we can say that it's either one of them, right? So free trade protects the domestic industries. These are the options. We'll look into the answer now. That is option B, A and B. So it leads to maximization of output, income, and employment, and also it prevents monopoly, right? So it does not favor monopoly at all. With free trade, there would be goods in, or say it allows the countries to specialize in the production of goods and services in the most efficient way, and due to that, there is increased competition as well. So it does not favor monopoly; it prevents monopoly. So the correct answer over here is option B, that is A and B. Next we have the core principle of multilateral trading system is non-discrimination, reciprocity, protectionism, or domestic safeguard. So we are looking into the core principle of multilateral trading system, and the answer is option A, that is non-discrimination, reciprocity, and domestic safeguard. So the principle of non-discrimination, it ensures that all the countries are treated in a fair manner in international trade, and no country should be given special privileges. And also the principle of reciprocity, it means that the countries should offer each other trading concessions. So that is the principle of reciprocity. Then we have protectionism. So what does that mean? These are policies are designed to shield the domestic industries from foreign competition. So that is not something that we want over here. And the last one is the domestic safeguard. It's are allowed under certain circumstances, such as to protect the infant industries or to prevent import surges that could damage the domestic industries. So again, the correct answer over here is A, B, D. That is non-discrimination, reciprocity, and domestic safeguard. These are the core principles of multilateral trading system.